Premier League insider David Ornstein joins us now. Going to watch the Everton-Tottenham game, I'm sure. But you've been a busy man, David, and I've heard you excited, but I've never heard you as excited as when I listened to a podcast this week after the Erling Haaland story that you broke. The 9.5 years, the length of the contract is what you were really shocked about, and I think the same with everybody else. Just talk us through everything Erling Haaland.
Yeah, Rebecca, it was a big story, but not as big as the contract that Erling Haaland has signed. It is truly remarkable, seismic, jaw-dropping when I heard it. 9.5 years. It's going to cover 10 seasons, essentially. It's the sort of thing we've not seen in football before. And not really in the whole of sport. It's incredible. And if you think about the longevity of it, 2034, that will take him to the age of 34. So he's going to be spending the vast majority of his career at Manchester City. We do think this is among the most lucrative deals that we've seen in sport, full stop. Certainly, I think in football, there's reports of taking him close to the £1 million mark per week, but we don't know the exact finances around it. Any exit clauses that were contained in the previous deal when he signed for City from Borussia Dortmund in 2022 have been removed. That's pretty significant too. If there are any clauses in the new deal, which I'm not aware of, I'm sure it would be insignificant because it's been presented to me as a proper, unbreakable, really, commitment through to 2034. It ends speculation about a potential move to Real Madrid, which was always being talked about ever since he signed for City. They beat Real Madrid to him, and there was this assumption he would end up there. But that's not going to happen now, and it shows how happy he is at Manchester City. What City wanted to do throughout his first couple of years was to make him so settled that he would never feel the need to go away, and that's proved to be the case now. He's going to outlast Pep Guardiola, almost certainly, who signed a new 2-year contract. And that shows his commitment to City as a club, to Manchester as an area where he's settled. He's become a father for the first time. He's moved to a new house in the local area. And he clearly has no concerns about the financial situation at City. They're in a battle against the Premier League over alleged rule breaches. We should hear a verdict for that in the coming months, but clearly he's not concerned. And they're showing full faith in him. They think he's the best striker in world football, and they've got him for a long time to come. So I just think this is a massive moment for Erling Haaland, for Manchester City, and for football as a whole. Any defenders that were thinking he could be off soon, you've got another thing coming because he's here to stay.
I think Pep Guardiola should add a few years to his contract, David. A bit measly, isn't it? Just a 2-year deal. I should say, by the way, you're not at Goodison Park. You're at Portman Road ahead of Manchester City's game later on at Ipswich. So what else does Pep and the rest of Manchester City's boardroom have up their sleeves in terms of new players coming this window?
City are not done there, Rebecca. It's been the busiest of Januaries for them. They've lined up a couple of signings. Central defenders, 20 years old, Abdulkadir Kusanov. He'll become, I think, the first Uzbek to play in the Premier League. He plays for Lens. He's made a really good impression there, and it's going to be around 40 million euros plus add-ons. It's pretty much done and dusted, that deal, as is for another centre-back, Vitor Reis, a 19-year-old Brazilian from Palmeiras. I think that's about 35 million euros plus add-ons. Many other clubs wanted both of these players, and when they found out they were going to City, conversations I had led to me to believe that there's huge frustration at other clubs because City have stolen a march on 2 really good players. But there's more. Omar Marmoush, the 25-year-old striker from Eintracht Frankfurt, he said his goodbyes on Friday night when they played Dortmund. He's flying over to the UK. I think it's a medical tomorrow, and that will help bolster City's front line because, of course, they never replaced Julian Alvarez, and there will be now fresh support for Erling Haaland. He's an Egypt international and a player that we really need to keep an eye on. In midfield, they're considering adding a further player. Obviously, Rodri's been out injured. I've just reported today on The Athletic that Douglas Luiz, a former City player from 2017 to 2019, didn't make any appearances before moving to Aston Villa, did fantastic there. He's at Juventus now. It didn't go so well there. It hasn't gone so far. He's one of the options City are considering. They're not definitely going to go for him or that position. They would like a loan with no obligation to buy. Juventus would like to sell him or have a loan with an obligation to buy. So let's see how that one develops. Another Juventus player City have an interest in is Andrea Cambiasso, the left back. Reports that he could be moving closer to City. My understanding is that that's still some way off and is unlikely to happen in this window. City are clearly trying to bring in a younger age profile as they rejuvenate and revolutionise their squad since Guardiola signed that 2-year contract. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, Kyle Walker, could they be moving on? Kyle Walker, there's some interest from AC Milan. It is edging forward, but there's no formal offer from Milan to City just yet, so we'll have to see how that one goes in the coming days. It's crazy at City right now. Clearly they want to get back to the top, and it's at the heart of it is recruitment and contract renewals.
Brilliant stuff, as always, from our Premier League insider, David Ornstein. Thank you to David. We will speak to him next week.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host of NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. And if you want even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock.